So I went on a business trip with a very well-to-do businessman, and he was telling me about this coffee table that he owned that he paid $10,000 for. And he ended up splitting up with his wife, and he gave her everything, but he said, I wanted that table. And I thought, man, I would never want to own a $10,000 coffee table. Well, I own a $10,000 coffee table. Thing is, I don't want it. Okay, so when we were assembling the 5.3 iron block originally, after we put the cam in there, we were putting the front pulley back on again, and we should have just watched more of Matt Happel's videos where he just warms it up, slides it on, hits it with an impact gun, and calls her good. We bought a new balancer bolt and because it's a torque to yield bolt, and to keep the engine from turning, we put a socket in between one of the crank throws on the side of the block, and then torqued the bolt. The oil pan was installed, and that socket never left the engine. We fired up the engine, it ran a little bit, it ran for a while actually, until the socket rattled underneath one of the crank throws, punched it out the pan, and put a hole in the side of that iron block. Well, that's not good. Something punched out the back of the oil pan. That means the engine's coming back out again. For shit's sake, that was not the way it was supposed to go. I was supposed to drive this thing off the hoist today. Well, you know what, that oil... Shit! Not cool. Not cool at all. That is weird. Never just punch something out the bottom like that. Well, yeah. All right, I'm going to bed to see what happens in the morning. Not cool. That was a mess and a disaster, and a horrible feeling when you do all this work, everything's kind of buttoned up, and then away you go. It's just such a huge drawback. Not a big deal. Customer took it very well. It shit happens. We got over it. We made a video actually on picking up an aluminum block for the Audi. We ended up using that aluminum block, and we put it, I rebuilt the entire engine, bought an engine kit, good name brand engine kit, so new pistons, all new bearings, a brand new block, cleaned everything up, was assembling everything. I moved all the pistons over, I checked all my gaps, everything was good, except it was an 06 block, and it's a floating piston, so there's two little snap rings that hold the piston pin in. I had it on the forks, and found an extra clip. I thought, well, can't sleep at night knowing that one of those clips is missing. Pull out every piston. Got to number 8, and I thought, because you really don't, you could stop when you find the one missing the clip. Well, every one of them had the clip in there, and they just sent 17 clips in a kit that needed 16. I was not smart enough to count the number of clips before I started. Now I'm in a pretty bad mood. I'm about 2-3 hours behind. I had so much that I wanted to do that day. I ended up putting the engine in the car without the heads on it, and then assembled the heads. I found that easier rather than putting the full block in there because it's pretty tight with that exhaust in there. I should have listened to myself. It was after 7 o'clock by the time I started doing that. It was getting late at night actually, and I kept going even though I was in a bad mood, and I should have went to bed. When the original socket was smashed, it wrecked 2 connecting rods. I also got 2 reman connecting rods. Checked the part numbers were correct. What happened was one of the connecting rods was out of a 4.8, not a 5.3, and the throw, or the length of that connecting rod, because it's a shorter stroke, is about 120 thou longer than the 5.3, and I did not check my protrusion before I put the heads on. Big mistake, cranked it over, and piston hit the cylinder head, smashed to pieces, and wrecked that aluminum block. Did not even have 1 kilometer on it, and gouged the sleeve pretty good. I thought, could just run a hone through it, clean it up, throw a piston in it, and away you go. So I'm not going to do that. We're going to send it out to a machine shop. I called the customer, said, I'm a moron, I did not check my protrusion. I checked the numbers on the box, and the box, they matched. I thought, okay, good to go. Brought it to a machine shop, they looked at it, they said the gouge is easily fixable, but in the meantime it cracked the actual aluminum on either side of the sleeve. So we have a junk block. Now that's 2 engines, probably about 50, 60 hours wasted. That puts me about a week or 2 behind. That, my labor, plus all the materials, we're just figuring it out. The company that sent me the parts won't do anything for it, and by rights they don't really have to. It clearly says check all parts to make sure that they were the right parts before you install them. And that's kind of where YouTube, we were hoping to get a video out, and it was actually the hammer, the Mercedes hammer that Petrolicious was going to put out. We thought we could get a pile of hits if we can get our Mercedes running and kind of use the same lines that they did when they made the video on the AMG swapped hammer. And rushed, shouldn't have rushed, and I wrecked another block. So that was the aluminum block that was supposed to go in the Audi, and now that's wrecked. So I am still trying to recover from that. I've got almost all the parts again. I got to get one more aluminum block. I have a perfectly good iron block, but the customer wants an aluminum block in it. We're going to put an aluminum one in it. As soon as I get that, we'll keep going on it. But in the meantime, this is a summer car. It's not a winter car, and the season's over. So I lost the entire summer of 2017 when you should have been driving this because of stupid little mistakes, but mistakes happen. So we carry on. It kind of makes you lose the fun in the project, and it's a mental thing too. You got to overcome that. When I see this is just a pile of money that I lost. This is the amount of money that I lost in this car is basically what I bought my wife's car for 5 years ago. But it is what it is. We're going to carry on. We're going to make the best of it. We're going to get an aluminum block in here. Now you saw us pull the aluminum block out of that Silverado. We actually brought that one to the machine shop. They were working with them. They cleaned it right up. We put all new pistons and bearings in that one, and that one, even though it's not 100% block, the score, we didn't bore it out. We honed it. It's got a little score in it still, but for a boosted application for the couple hours that's going to be on the track, it's going to do for now. So that one's going in the Audi. We did port and polish the heads on that one as well, and I was hoping to have that engine today, but there's a couple pieces that he's missing that Aaron's going to drop off on the way home, and we'll have that one very, very soon. We will have an aluminum block for the Mercedes very, very soon, and we will continue with videos on it, but for now, because it's only me in the shop, I had so much time booked for projects and then on to the next one, made the commitment for the Audi. We've got sponsors for that. That one we will be racing in January, so then we can focus on this one again. We will have it ready for spring. One of those things, we'll carry on. The most expensive swap that we've done in the shop so far to date. But yeah, it is what it is. That being said, one of our viewers said, you know what, when you blow up your engine on the dyno, it's funny, the engines that you don't want to blow up, the ones that you want to blow up, don't blow up. So we were going to try and as kind of as a fundraising thing, this was one of their viewers' suggestions, was to take like the broken connecting rod or the bent rod or whatever smashed when we put it on the dyno and put it on eBay and auction that off. So instead of doing that, because we have a perfectly good 4.8 iron block, we will be putting this coffee table on eBay. If you want a $10,000 coffee table, which is basically what I lost in that block sitting right there, it's not valued, like if you physically look at it, it's not $10,000. To me it is. But you can have a piece of DEBOSS Garage history. I can sign it, I can paint it, I can clear coat it, I can do whatever you like to it. We will put it up, going up today, the link will be live, you can click on it down below. Bid on it, we'll leave it up for about a week, and then if you're the winning bidder, get a hold of us through the link, and then we can talk. If you want me to paint it, I'll paint it for you. If you want me to clear coat it, we'll clear coat it for you. We'll work together on shipping somehow. Hopefully you live somewhere between me and Florida, and we can meet up on the way, bringing the Audi down. If you go on eBay right now and you Google engine coffee table, they are going for $1,700 US plus, I don't know what the shipping was, it was 800 Canadian shipping. So that's about $3,500 for one of these tables. That's not, you get a deal on this one, and you get DEBOSS Garage Filthy Rich signature on it too yet. And if you meet up with us somewhere, we can even get some pictures in front of the Audi, whatever. We'll work with you, whoever the buyer is. So head over to eBay, bid on a one-of-a-kind coffee table, and yeah, thanks guys. Here we go.